Hello everybody and welcome to the Fundamentals 6 video. This is the last video in this Fundamentals level. After this we're moving on to bigger and better things in level 1. So congratulations, you're almost there. Today we're going to be talking about eighth notes and what those might be compared to quarters, halves, and wholes. And as you see in front of you, you have 3 eighth notes. Well, actually no, not really. You don't have 3 eighth notes in front of you. That was a trick to see if you fell for it. Maybe you fell for it. I don't know. You actually have 3 quarter notes in front of you. So how do you turn these into eighth notes? Well, let me show you. If you just have one eighth note all by its lonesome, has no friends, you put a little flag like that on it. Okay, so that's one eighth note. If you have more than one eighth note, what you would do is just beam them together like that. All right, it's that simple. So there's one eighth note, there's 2 eighth notes. Enough drawing eighth notes, let's talk about them. Here we go. So when I start talking about new rhythm concepts, I usually like to start off with something simple like this, just 4 quarter notes. And let's look at the time signature real quick and review that. Top number tells you how many beats in each measure. In this case it's 4. The bottom number tells you what kind of note is assigned the beat. And since this is a 4 in this case, that means that the quarter note is assigned the beat, which is why you see 4 quarter notes in the measure. Okay, blah-de-blah, this is a review, you know this. Alright, so if you remember that, that very large rhythm chart that we started with way back when in the first video, you'll remember that a quarter note can also equal 2 eighth notes. Okay, and the reason why you would do that is, alright, we have whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes, so we know those. What if you wanted to have a rhythm that was quicker than quarter notes, and how would you write that? That's where eighth notes come into place. So that's why if you want to split a quarter note into something quicker, you'll get 2 eighth notes. Okay, and what does that look like in the measure here? Well, as you can see, if you would count this as 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we wanted to change this first quarter note into 2 eighth notes. Okay, well that would look like this. And now your new counting would go 1 and 2, 3, 4. If I were to do that again and then this time snap a steady beat with my fingers like this, that would look like this and sound like this. Ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Notice how for the first snap I'm fitting in 2 eighth notes now. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Also notice that the note on beat 1, on the start of beat 1, and the note on the start of beat 2 still line up with my snaps because they're still on the down beats on 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay? Now let's say we want to do the same thing to beat 3, turning this chord note into 2 eighth notes. Okay, that'll look like this. The counting changes to that. Now we have 2 eighth notes within that third beat. It's all under the third beat still. And that's going to sound like this. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Alright? And then let's see, let's change this further. Let's do beat 4. This chord note goes into 2 eighth notes. Or we turn them into 2 eighth notes. The counting looks like this. And yeah, we get more eighth notes this time. From the top it goes 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And last but not least, beat 2. Let's not, leave them out of the loop here. Let's turn that one last chord note into 2 eighth notes as well. That looks like this. Now we have a full 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice, by the way, that every offbeat is symbolized by a and or a plus symbol, but in music we say and. Okay. This is just constant eighth notes. We have nothing but eighth notes in this measure now. It's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so next up we have 2 examples using chord notes and eighth notes, our new friend, the eighth notes. They're back. And before I demonstrate these for you, what I want you to do is I want you to look at each example one at a time, the top one, this one up here first. And I want you to just figure out 2 things. One, how would you count it? What would you put up here? And secondly, how would it go in actual rhythm if I were snapping the beat like this? What would it sound like, right? So the next couple seconds, just think about what you think the counting would be, and I'll let you know. So maybe press pause on the video. All right, here it is, the counting if you're ready. It should look like that. See if you were right. And all right, now what I'd like you to do is I'm going to snap the beat for you, and I just want you to either say the counting or just say the rhythm on ta as it goes along. I'll count you in. Ready? Just this top one first. Here's your beat, which is, these are quarter notes, right? So think about how these eighth notes are fitting within each of these snaps or beats or quarter notes, okay? Here you go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate it for you. You're welcome to do it with me or just kind of check to see if it was the same way you did it. Here I go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4 and. All right, so check that out. Listen to it again if you like. Let's do the next example. You may have realized that we're in 3/4. Quarter note is still the kind of note that's assigned the beat, but this time we only have 3 beats per measure. All right, first off, what would the counting be? Think about that. Press pause on the video. Okay, and so here's the correct counting. Check your work. See if you were right. If you were wrong, see why you were wrong. All right, and then here's your turn. I want you to try and perform this rhythm, just this measure, on your own. So here's your beat. And remember, each beat in this case, since the 4 is down here, each beat is a quarter note. So again, think about how those eighth notes fit within each finger snap. Here we go. 1, 2, here you go. And that's it. Okay, and here's me doing the same example. 1, 2, here I go. 1 and 2 and 3. Again, if you think that was different than what you did, listen back to it again, maybe a few times, check your work, try it again with me, and then see how you do. Okay, and here we are. This is the last slide. Just another, in this case, 4-measure rhythm example involving eighth notes, some quarter notes, and a half note is over here, but also we have some quarter rests that we threw in there. So now you have to deal with silence amidst some of the eighth notes that we just learned about. Let's do it the same way as the last slide. I want you to think about what all this counting would be. So definitely press pause. That might take a while for you to figure out. Go ahead and press pause. Okay, ready for the counting? This is what the counting would look like. Again, maybe press pause, check it all out since it's 4 measures. Here it is. Notice how I have all of the beats of rest. The counting is in parentheses because you don't actually want to say it. You just want to feel the beat of silence there. All right, and then what would this sound like? Let's just get right into it. I'm going to do it with you. Here we go. Here's our beat. Each chord note gets one of these finger snaps. Eighth notes, 2 per snap. And here we go, 4 measures. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 3 and 4 and 1, 3 and 4. 2 and 4 and 1 and 4 and. I'm going to do it one more time on ta, and I'm also going to say sh for each quarter rest, so you can really feel that beat of silence. Here we go, ta and with sh involved. 1, 2, ready, go. Ta, sh, ta 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 ta, ta ta ta, sh, ta ta, sh, ta 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 ta, sh, ta ta. All right, folks, listen back to any of that again if that was a little confusing, especially the examples and the times that I perform those examples for you. If you have any questions, find me out. Good luck on your one of the last worksheets for the fundamentals levels, and we'll see you again in level 1.